Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. Excited to have Peggy Smith here joining us once again. And we're going to talk today more about regenerative medicine and all she does as, my goodness, she's a woman with many hats. How do I introduce you? Because there's so many titles to your name. I call you Peggy. It's really Margaret. Hypnotherapist, you're an RN, Happy Possibilities. Tell us more about yourself.
Okay, you can call me Peggy. I'm an RN with 45 years experience in both traditional and alternative medicine modalities. I do have a hypnosis practice outside of Philadelphia, but I also work with other integrative type medical modalities. And today we're going to talk about one of the newest ones in medicine called regenerative medicine.
And how do we reach you at Happy Possibilities?
Okay, my telephone number is area code 267-593-5557. You can also email me directly at notjusthypnosis, all one word, at gmail.com. My website is www.notjusthypnosis.biz, B-I-Z.
All right, let's get started then. The topic for today, what is regenerative medicine? Let's start there.
Okay, regenerative medicine deals with the process of replacing, creating, regenerating human or animal cells. Most of us are familiar with stem cell therapy. That's only one small slice of the whole picture. Different examples of regenerative medicine, they might be used in transplants. Everybody hears about the controversy with using abortion cord stems to get these stem cells. All of us have stem cells all over our body. We have them in our blood. We've got them in our fat. Our fat's good for something. We've got them in our bone marrow, dental pulp. It's in our skeletal muscles. It's just all over our body. And most of the therapies that when we talk about regenerative medicine, we're taking them from some place in our body that's healthy, and we're putting them to an area that needs some help. Getting a knee replacement, doctors are able to actually go to a different part of your body where the cells are healthy, pull them out and inject them into your knee, and you may not necessarily need a knee replacement. No hospitalization is required. The rehab period is minimal. Most people are back up and moving at their previous level of healthy activity in less than a week. There's still some controversy about whether or not insurance will pay for all forms of regenerative medicine. But I think once these business people in the insurance industry realize how much money they're actually saving if they're not doing major operations and things like that, hopefully that they'll become more willing to take part and cover most of these things. So medical devices and artificial organs, sometimes, we're pushing organ transplants all the time. My driver's license, I'm an organ transplant. I work with transplant recipients, and I see miracles every day, from young children who get livers and new hearts to older people who get whatever, lungs, liver, heart, sometimes all of it. I have a friend recently that had lung and liver and heart all in one body. And was very successful and healthy afterwards. But sometimes if your organ's too far and needs to be replaced, and there's not an organ available quickly enough for the right match, regenerative medicine and robotics can come up with technologies and machines to help at least extend the life of your organs that aren't doing so well by injecting healthier cells in other parts of your body, or using a ventricular assist device. They call it, by short, it's VAD. It's an electronic device that keeps your heart pumping the way it should be, helps with circulation issues. And, that's just, it really is going to be the newest and almost like Star Trek medicine. They can't quite put that star quarter over your chest and do it, but we're getting there.
Got it. Go ahead.
So, one of the biggest problems that regenerative medicine has is just the the challenge of effective translation and development of the viable stem cell therapies, because the research that goes into that is what needs to be developed a little bit further to cover more medical issues, but it runs into a lot of the political issues because people hear stem cell and right away they're turned off and think it's, we're playing God. Stem cell therapies have done very well with healing and helping less complications with Parkinson's disease. Um, the Happy Days guy, my mind just go. I don't watch that much TV, but the one that has Parkinson's. Oh, fill my name and what is his name? Opie is all I can think of. Um, the actor that has Parkinson's. Oh, J. Fox,
Michael J.
Michael J.
Fox.
Fox.
There
Yes,
you go. I'm like, I can't think of his name.
he's been a recipient of some, and he's promoting stem cell therapy because it's helped him and it
Mm-hmm.
helps other people that are afflicted with that. Um, there's just all kinds of research going around all over the country. Many countries are a little further advanced than we are because obviously funding must have gone there or less politics, less political hurdles. And it's almost become what they call medical tourism for people that can afford the services. That they go on a tour to other countries that offer these services to get these therapies because other countries, many other countries are ahead of us in the research. Um, in our area, if you really do have to be in a city with a larger population and large medical centers probably to access these things. But hopefully down the road in a short time, more people, everybody will be able to access it and it will be covered. Like some people will go to Mexico for certain chemotherapies that are not covered by insurance and, that they can't access in America, but their choice is either you run out of time or, you go do what you can do. And if they're fortunate enough to afford to travel, so they become what we call a medical tourist and go to another country to get the treatments that they can't access here.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think America being what we are trying to be and everything else, that shouldn't have to be necessary.
Aw.
It is one of the most contemporary topics in bioscience and medicine right now. Uh, a lot of the research does come from embryonic stem cells. That does not necessarily mean that, from babies that were aborted. A lot of times when you have a new baby, they'll ask you if you would donate your cord, uh, to help with research like that. So it's just a really exciting field and not a lot of people know about it. So that's why I wanted to bring it up today. Um, but it's challenging because we have a lot of hurdles to overcome. Uh, the new discoveries come with the 3D printing. They help with metal and ceramics and to almost build new parts that you need in your body. Um, it helps therapies that can benefit from regenerative medicine would be type 1 diabetics, cardiovascular tissue repair, brain injury tissue repair. I mean, it used to be they thought if your nerves and cells were they couldn't fix. We've learned before medicine that you activate your brain. Immune system improvement. A lot of people that have to take immune globulin therapies or other therapies to build their immune system. Regenerative medicine can help with that issue. Cell therapy, wound therapy, really bad like diabetic wounds, bed sores, burn patients can benefit from this. Uh, you don't have many skin places to take grafts from when you're a burn patient, but regenerative medicine can go in and get what's still working in your body and also transplant from other, using techniques that certain cancers have benefited from regenerative medicine. So it's not as wild as people think at first. I hear a lot of TV, radio, and TV commercials in the Philadelphia area for regenerative medicine for orthopedic situations. Those are the ones that aren't quite covered by insurance yet, but I think it won't be that much longer. But for years now, as the research was developing, they were applying it to cancer treatments and transplant treatments and just all kinds of areas that they weren't publicizing yet because they wanted to make sure that it was something viable as far as getting it paid for. You might make the most wonderful miracle drug in the world, but if you can't get the insurance company to agree to pay for it, it doesn't do a lot of people much good. And regenerative medicine is kind of the same way.
Well, let me just let you know, I tried stem cell therapy for my IBS, my stomach issues last year. Last like
Right.
August, September, October, they did direct injections into the stomach area where the pain is and the intestines. And then we did intravenous ones. And I mean, I didn't feel relief for my problem, but they say that's a good thing to do if you can afford. I had a friend who was doing it. That's the only reason why I did it, but I don't, it didn't help my cause, but it really does help with so much. My friend who's a specialist in this field is the one who signed me up in New Jersey, and I drove to him to hope he can cure me, and he couldn't, but he told me amazing stories about how he's helped so many people heal different ailments in their
Many of the
body.
people with the diagnoses that you're talking about, I've been giving those monthly infusions like
Oh,
monthly for them.
wow.
And they need it monthly in order to get the relief. It didn't come right away, but usually by the second to third, maybe fourth infusion, they are getting relief. Another really, and the whole concept grosses people out, but they're actually doing fecal transplants for people that have IBS and
Wow.
Crohn's disease. And
Really?
it's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Fecal is the medical word for your bowel movement, and
Mm-hmm.
they're transplanting that into you, a healthy, excuse my language, a healthy shit, to create better shit in your body.
Yep.
um,
Exactly.
Nurses talk the way it is. But that's exactly regenerative medicine that's working. And you just might not have exhausted all your opportunities, though, or given it enough time. It does work.
All right.
Um,
Sorry, figured
so
I'd interrupt. I have a little experience with what you're talking about.
well, thank you for sharing. That was a little bit personal, but you know, um, when you're a chronic medical patient, you kind of realize nothing's that personal anymore.
Nope,
You know,
everybody has something. Yep.
yeah. So, um, but are there any questions that you've had, and maybe with your experience with it, or that?
Well, I could tell you what, well, let me ask you this. What is your take with regenerative medicine? My friend was working with someone who had stomach cancer and was given like 6 months to live. And for the past, again, he's not curing him, maybe you never know, but he's been alive for 2.5 years, still living with the stomach cancer that they said would kill him. But he's crediting his life expectancy has grown because of the stem cell therapy. And again, I don't know which form exactly, if he's doing it the direct injection or the IV. But have you heard of other cancer patients benefiting
Uh,
from this too?
Absolutely. There's most cancer therapies are combination therapies. You'll
Mm-hmm.
have traditional chemotherapy. Um, then you'll have immunotherapy products to go with what we all associate chemotherapy, the bad stuff that loses your hair and things like that. Um, University of Penn has many people that, with some of their adjunctive therapies, they haven't cured their colon or pancreatic or stomach cancer yet, but by taking a 46-hour infusion at home after they're finished their treatment at the hospital every 3 weeks, they're buying time for them until maybe that cure is out there and people are
Yeah.
functioning. It's not like you're just alive laying in bed. People are going to work. They have their 46 hours that they get their IV medication at home. The nurse hooks it up when they're done the hospital treatment and then comes back in 46 hours and takes it down. Uh, in conjunctive with all of that, one thing that really helps is lots and lots of hydration. No matter
Mm-hmm.
what your body's problem is, hydration can go a long way to fixing it. And that's the stomach and bowel things too.
Yeah.
Um, and also a positive attitude and trust in your practitioner. If you have a good communication and you feel confident and you know that you're in a good place, and it's like I had one woman, she believed that when she got breast cancer, it was one of my employees, a nurse's aide. I wanted her to go to see the best doctor right away and get her started. She was a little bit older and I knew she would be resistant. She says, it's in God's hand. If God wants me to live, I'll live. If not, then I'll get
Oh,
to see him sooner. But I talked to her. I found an African American breast cancer specialist not too far from her here in the Philadelphia area. She agreed to the appointment. She listened very politely and stoically. At the end, she said, "Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your talking to me, but I place my faith in my creator." And he looked her straight in the eye and he said, "Ma'am, I'm proud to say that that creator is what placed me on earth here to help you right now. He gave me the brains and the skill and the ability to get the education I need. And, I'm not doing this by myself. Every day he's with me." And she agreed to therapy and she lived another 10 years. Uh,
wow.
but so, it's a combination of things that work. I never discount any kind of faith in a higher power or whatever it is. I can tell you most people, when they're faced with something like that, even if they swore all their life that they're an atheist, they're praying to somebody, especially towards the end. But it's a combination. It's the good medicine, good research that we have. Unfortunately, it's, the financial limitations are bigger than other things, but it's avoiding processed food. It's avoiding lots of sugars because cancer feeds on sugar more than anything else. And just having a really good positive attitude and a faith in your higher power and a trust
Mm-hmm.
in your doctor. And with all of that together, plus, being open to considering some of these latest researches. I mean, some people feel like, gosh, if they want to do the latest research, I don't want to be a guinea pig. And, eh, and we also have lots of, for the people that really are struggling to find the right answers, if you qualify for a clinical trials, you know, you're not a guinea pig, but you're helping yourself, you know, hopefully, and you're also helping medicine in the future.
Yeah.
But it's no, there is no one cure for anything.
No, you're right. Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
there's a lot of non-medical treatments for IBS and colon related things that are also very helpful and a lot cheaper, like the right foods, the right psychological support, uh, learning mindfulness and relaxation, stress management, all of that can go a long way into fixing that problem.
and yeah, we need to talk. Well, thank goodness we're friends, Peggy, so I can ask you more questions in the future, right? You've been a friend for quite a few months, and I've gotten to know you, and you're now astounding me with this whole regenerative medicine, which I didn't even know that you were doing. I mean, right? We've talked how
Well,
many
I'm not
times?
doing it. I'm not a practitioner, but I am educating people. As a nurse, one of my
I'm sorry,
major
but you're,
roles
yep.
is to be an advocate for patients and to educate what's
Mm-hmm.
out there. And when I know that down the road someday I'm going to need a knee replacement, and I'm going to look at regenerative medicine before I look at taking off 6 weeks from work and the pain and anesthesia and surgery and cost of everything, all that. Because if something can be done in a doctor's office with no anesthesia, which I'm very sensitive to, and minimal physical limitations,
Yeah.
and it's a lot cheaper in both recovery time and pain and everything else. It's a real blessing that the doctors behind the scenes, the research scientists have been working on this for some time. By the
Yay.
time we hear about it in the news, everybody thinks, oh, it's the latest thing. Like, they thought the COVID vaccine was brand new and scary because it was so new. Nobody knew how it was going to be. Actually, regenerative medicine is part of what helped create that vaccine. And that's been around for a long time, regenerative medicine. We just haven't been advertising it. We didn't even know how many areas of health it could actually help. But every day they find more reasons to use it.
Interesting. Wow. All right. Well, what else do you have for us today? This is good. This is good topic of conversation. And again, as you believe in an integrative approach, right? Why
I
not?
do believe in an
There's
integrative
so
approach.
many different modalities that could help someone. We started off, I think, originally talking about hypnotherapy, right? Originally, I think that was over the first few shows we talked about. But there's so much more to what you do and can help people benefit.
If anybody has any questions of something I haven't brought up in these podcast series, they're welcome to email me privately at notjusthypnosis@gmail.com. I can point them in the right direction of where they need to go for the answers or the services they're looking for in their particular location. Um, and eventually there'll be other modalities that people can reach me at, and we'll have more in depth. We'll have experts in different fields talking about these different things.
Exciting. You're so knowledgeable. Miss Peggy Smith on her way to getting her own show. And who knows, she may be national soon. And she's got it. She's got it with Happy Possibilities. And we still got 3 minutes left for today, Peggy. What else did you want our audience to know?
I just want you to know that your health is your responsibility, and you're not limited to what your insurance company says. Every time an insurance company says no, you have the right to appeal. Most of us don't even we read the letter, yet we denied you, and they throw it aside and start crying or get mad. You got to read to the bottom of the letter and see how to appeal. And very often, most appeals win. And if you're not happy or comfortable with the practitioner you're working with, there's a lot of other specialists out there too doing the same thing that maybe can explain it in a way that you relate to better. But I have just as much respect for faith healing in conjunction with traditional medical care. I will never tell a patient to just totally discount what the doctor says to do, but I will teach the patient ways of how they can participate more actively and understand what the doctor's goals are. And if the patient's on board, even psychologically, the results are so much better.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, Peggy Smith, we want to reach out to you for an initial consultation. How do we do so?
You can either call or text me at 267-593-5557, or you can email me at notjusthypnosis@gmail.com. You can go to my website and reach me through that. That would be notjusthypnosis.biz. And I'm pretty accessible. I have a Facebook page. I'm on LinkedIn. I have, lots of, I'm on Instagram. So it's easy enough to find me.
Awesome. Well, cannot wait to find you again and keep in touch. Seriously, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here. By the way, back to school for my kids starts tomorrow. So maybe a little anxious and nervous today. Yeah, tomorrow. Oh, yeah. But also be working the full day. So get them on the bus. It's going to be rough when we go to bed so late. And nerves and anxiety.
And they need breakfast before they leave.
Thank you for the reminder. Yeah. Well, just my oldest, whose 8, just got a palate expander in. So he's got this big metal appliance in his mouth. So he's not even eating much. I'm giving him soup. Because everything gets stuck.
Have oatmeal with some protein powder in it.
Yep. I'm making him drink milk, but of course he's fighting me on that.
Well, they make protein milk, but you can actually give him oatmeal or farina with some protein powder in it. The oatmeal with cinnamon apple, usually most kids will take that, but you can add a little protein to make it a little healthier.
He's so
not going to work. You don't get the protein in the first thing in the morning.
I know, he's so plain. That's the problem. So he's very, very picky. Like, where'd he get that from? Just saying.
So when he sees the other kids, I don't know if he's going to buy his lunch at school or you're bringing it, but does he have peanut allergies and all those too?
Nope. He's good. He's good.
Okay. Well, once he gets to make some friends and everything,
yeah,
it'll get easier, but he really needs, even if it's, he can't chew a protein bar, like a breakfast bar, but like Belvita makes a breakfast cookie that has protein in it. Just, 2 little wafer cookies in the package. I give it to my parents who are recovering from surgery right now, and they love the cookie, and it's giving them protein to heal their wounds.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Pleasure, Peggy. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
You take care.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.